The next quote, number 11, is from the Citadel of Faith, the compilation of the Message of the Guardian, page 35. This is what the Guardian said.
The United States is signally blessed. This nation, so signally blessed, occupying so eminent and responsible a position in a continent so wonderfully endowed, was the first among the nations of the West to be warmed and illuminated by the rays of the revelation of Baha'u'llah, soon after the proclamation of his covenant on the morrow of his ascension. This nation, moreover, may well claim to have, as a result of its effective participation in both the First and Second World Wars, redressed the balance, saved mankind the horrors of devastation and bloodshed involved in the prolongation of hostilities, and decisively contributed in the course of the latter conflict to the overthrow of the exponents of ideologies fundamentally at variance with the universal tenets of our faith.
Okay, let's pause here, dear Niloufar. Let's see that we really understand what the Guardian is saying. He's praising the actions of America in wars beyond its shores, acting in fulfillment of the Baha'i, the broken with the hand of justice, and to punish the oppressor. The Guardian says America's participation in the First and Second World War redressed the balance and put down ideologies, Nazism and fascism, that are at variance with the principles of the faith, which of course is the spirit of this age. And then listen how he describes Woodrow Wilson.
To her president, the immortal Woodrow Wilson, must be ascribed the unique honor among the statesmen of any nation, whether of the East or of the West, of having voiced sentiments so akin to the principles animating the cause of Baha'u'llah, and of having more than any other world leader contributed to the creation of the League of Nations, achievements which the pen of the Center of God's Covenant acclaimed as signalizing the dawn of the most great peace, whose sun, according to that same pen, must needs arise as the direct consequence of the enforcement of the laws of the dispensation of Baha'u'llah. To the matchless position achieved by so preeminent a president of the American Union in a former period at so critical a juncture in international affairs, must now be added the splendid initiative taken in recent years by the American government, culminating in the birth of the successor of that league in San Francisco and the establishment of its permanent seat in the city of New York. Nor can the preponderating influence exerted by this nation in the councils of the world, the prodigious economic and political power that it wields, the prestige it enjoys, the wealth of which it disposes, the idealism that animates its people, her magnificent contribution as a result of her unparalleled productive power for the relief of human suffering and the rehabilitation of peoples and nations, be overlooked in a survey of the position she holds and which distinguishes her from her sister nations in both the new and old worlds.
How do you like that? The immortal Woodrow Wilson. In the future, when America gets over its provincialism and its isolationist self-image and recognize its role in the affairs of the world, Woodrow Wilson will be to be one of the greatest presidents for his influence on the whole world. So a policeman of the world does two things. He protects and he helps, and he takes to account those who are oppressors. So in the United States has done, is doing, and will continue to be the policeman of the world. And I've had to defend this role to people who complain to me that why is America interfering in places that it has no business? I say, excuse me, it has business everywhere. The current status of America in the world, its strong economy, its resources, its wealth, its military, which has no equal. All of these things are not accidental. The world in the last 20 to 30 years were not accidental. Happened to put America where it is today is to prepare it to carry out the mission given to it by Baha'i. I remember in a talk, the late Peter Khan, past member of the Universal House of Justice, about the destiny of America. And he said, this probably was in the 80s. He said, many Baha'is have been writing to the House of Justice and asking a question which one cannot blame them for voicing. They said, American Baha'is, America in general are not doing anything noble or worthy. American Baha'is are way behind in doing the things that are supposed to be doing. Is it possible that this mantle of great tasks will be taken from them and given to somebody else? And Peter Khan answered, the House of Justice has reminded of what the writings say about immutable and irreversible and infallible. And many things America is doing today that are in sync with its destiny. And they gave an example, the policies of the American government in both houses of parliament in defense of the Baha'is in Iran and other oppressed people in other places in the world. So they said that mantle that's given to it remains on the right shoulders. America will clean up its act. These cleansing tests, setbacks, and tribulations. We have tests of governance. We have tests in racial justice, and we have a pandemic to deal with. In the middle of all of this, we have COVID-19, which is alphabetically cursed and numerically blessed. Some of you will get that. I think Rick will get that. Alphabetically cursed, but numerically blessed. Even in the middle of all this, we will eventually do the right thing. Did we have number 13? Niloufar June? Did you read number 13?
Many and diverse are the I believe it's number 12, Sam, right?
Let me see. Yes, number 12, please.
Many and diverse are the setbacks and reverses which this nation, extolled so highly by Abdul-Baha, and occupying at present so unique a position among its fellow nations, must alas suffer. The road leading to its destiny is long, thorny, and tortuous. The impact of various forces upon the structure and polity of that nation will be tremendous. Tribulations on a scale unprecedented in its history and calculated to purge its institution, to purify the hearts of its people, to fuse its constituent elements, and to weld it into one entity with its sister nations in both hemispheres are inevitable. Oh, that's not good.
The cleansing forces that will assail this country and the people and the government are inevitable. A stone has to be polished very, very strongly in order for it to shine and glitter as a diamond. In the next quote, the Guardian makes a thrilling prophecy. This is in 1947, the actual year of my birth. The Guardian makes this prophecy, which Niloufar will read for us.
Whatever the hand of a beneficent and inscrutable destiny has reserved for this youthful, this virile, this idealistic, this spiritually blessed and enviable nation, However severe the storms which may buffet it in the days to come in either hemisphere, however sweeping the changes which the impact of cataclysmic forces from without and the steerings of a divine embryonic order from within will effect in its structure and life, we may, confident in the words uttered by Abdu'l-Baha, feel assured that that great republic, the shell that enshrines so precious a member of the world community of the followers of his Father, will continue to evolve undivided and undefeatable until the sum total of its contributions to the birth, the rise, and the fruition of that world civilization, the child of the most great peace and hallmark of the golden age of the dispensation of Baha'u'llah, will have been made and its last task discharged.
Wow, it will survive undefeated and undivided. I will now read for you. I don't know how much time we have, but we must have at least 2 hours. So I will read to you my own summary of statements made by the Guardian about American Baha'is. And then we will read a few passages which will have some of these. But this is just to give you, really to load your brain with what American Baha'is are, how they are, and how they will be. Abdu'l-Baha called upon the American Baha'is to be the executors of the tablets of the divine plan. The Guardian said they show fearlessness, tenacity, and efficiency, that they showed foresight, organizational ability, and enthusiasm. So every time we think of ourselves as American Baha'is, that we're really hopeless, just drifting from place to place, and the only thing we can do well is to organize potlucks. Remind yourself of these great descriptions of the American Baha'is. Abdu'l-Baha said, the whole world resounds with their praise. And then the Guardian said, a record of stewardship, which for its scope, effectiveness, and splendor is unmatched by any other Baha'i community. That they fully deserve the praise and gratitude of posterity. That they have earned a full measure of divine blessings and celestial sustenance. That they were the dynamic agent in opening most of the countries and territories of the world. They were the principal agents in building the most holy house of worship in the dispensation of Baha'u'llah. And that Martha Root, an American Baha'i, was instrumental in having the first royalty to be enlisted under the banner of Baha'u'llah, Queen Marie of Romania. The House of Justice in 1984 said that their efforts on behalf of Iranian Baha'is have adorned your hitherto enviable annals and unsurpassed luster.